Hello. It is July 21st, 2023. It is a Friday night. It's still bright out, which is a great thing about July. And I wanted to talk about what I learned about making YouTube videos every day of the week. So I guess the title is a little misleading because when I say that, I mean I made 24 videos. Let me count one more time. Yeah, I made 24 videos of drawing bugs, kind of going into the informational. I can't believe I just closed my title. I went into. I learned a lot by trying to draw bugs, doing the construction of them every day. And I'm not burned out, luckily, but I'm always trying to think about feedback. So originally, my plan was to have one video for every day of the week. But due to current situation, um, I've been unable to do that. And the funny thing is, I've actually had a hard time trying to get myself to actually upload the 24 videos. It's just because when I do that, well, in the video, I always give credit where credit is due for the bug photos, and I also have to wait for that to upload. So it kind of like hogs my computer, and I can't always do that much. I mean, I could draw on the side, which is always a plus, but it takes a lot of time for me to upload all of my videos. And I guess I've been focusing on having a video every Sunday, and I have a lot of videos planned out. I'm always trying to really do that ahead of time for the other stuff that I learn, because like during the weekdays, I always plan to talk about bugs and probably botanicals eventually, although I probably haven't delved deep enough into that yet. And in general, I'm also trying to balance what I like to call my uh, physical drawing career. I do like to do digital drawing, but sometimes it kind of gets me a bit. Well, I'm not sure what to say about it. I like it. I would say iteration is a lot faster, and probably like I've run into a lot of kind of hiccups with physical. I found that like sometimes I'll need a tool and I have to like wait for it to come through Amazon, or like the tool that I thought I needed now actually isn't the tool that I need now, but I will need in the future. So it's always like a balance. Like having digital, you kind of just have everything you need right then and there. I mean, maybe not everything. I guess it always depends on your goals. But from my personal experience, uh, it kind of seems like I always need some extra tool, or like even when I thought I had every tool that I needed, it turns out that I need another tool. To give an example, I got a roll of Bristol paper. It's really smooth, and I also got a roller to help pretty much orient the page so I can cut it. And I also had like a cutting tool. It's like a wheel, kind of looks like a pizza cutter. But the whole point of that tool is to cut the paper. But I realized I don't have any way to back the paper when I'm cutting it. And the thing about that is I don't want to like destroy either the floor in my room or my like masonite board. So it kind of like gets me stuck because I have to like go to some store that sells wood and pick up a 42-inch slab of or board of wood so I can have a backing to cut it. And it's like originally I was thinking of just using the cardboard, but I kind of realized I kind of use that as a container to hold my paper and roller. So it's like it's like a weird balance in which I guess like I'm not gonna like once I get that wood, I'll be good to go drawing physically. But it's just like really frustrating now that I can't just go full into it. So I know that's a bit off topic about learning YouTube videos, but I think the thing is I have everything really um, kind of down to a process when it comes to giving credits. I try to organize all of that in one place, which makes it kind of easy for me. But like the big thing is actually waiting for the video to upload to YouTube, and it has to go through copyright checks. And not that I ever set anything off. Um, But I mean, even if like the stuff that I do have, I have permission to use it in a video. And, I have to make sure I have all those credits clear, description. I hope I don't sound like I'm complaining, because I don't know. It's just, waiting for videos to load is kind of just a huge time sink, and it's like I kind of have to just fit it in when it is a bit frustrating for me to do. I hate to say, I know I'm complaining about the most simple thing. What else? I also learned about kind of like looking at photos more, specifically insects. It's just not always, you can't always rely on your past knowledge when you're observing a new bug. Even the same bug, you may learn subtle nuances that you didn't see before. So you kind of have to be a bit cautious of that. So, it kind of makes me think that there's always something new to learn, which is great. I think that kind of makes it really fun. But you always do have to be aware of the danger of, well, I guess the old saying, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And it's something I'm really trying to be aware of. I think I also need to read some books about bugs just so I have a better understanding, and I think by doing that I could learn certain things that maybe I'm looking at and I don't know what the names of they are, or maybe I'm missing things that like only an expert identifier would see. But like I said, like my goal is to draw things. I do like having an understanding as well, but like I'm not trying to aim to be a biologist or like the anatomy of bugs. It's cool they have an exoskeleton and all of that, but like I like doing it to a certain extent. But like at the end of the day, I am always kind of focusing on the drawing and art side and understanding. So like, do you kind of understand what I mean by that? Like, I want to focus on the construction. Like, let's say I was drawing a carrot. Like, probably I would ever draw like a full carrot, different perspectives, but I wouldn't want to talk about like what a carrot is made up of. Like, I don't know, sugars and all that. I mean, it's interesting, but it kind of doesn't really fit into what I do. The other thing is, I'm kind of wondering if I'm maybe drawing too many spiders, because in a lot of the videos that I did, I pretty much drew like nothing but spiders, and I do like drawing them, but I've always wondered, I hope I don't seem like I'm just doing the same thing again, again, and again. The big thing is drawing things in a different perspective. Interesting perspectives is something I'm really trying to do. I would say I also gained a deeper appreciation for the people who took the photos of the bugs that I use. Occasionally I would run into some minor issues in which maybe they were blurred based on their perspective, and I would have to like maybe not draw that side, or maybe I would like try to draw it partially in one way or another. And I know that can be dangerous, but I'm trying to work with what I have. And the funny thing is, personally, when I tried taking my own photos of bugs, they turned out really kind of blurry. It was hard for me to get really good pictures. I learned just how difficult it is to get the perfect picture of a bug, which is incredibly frustrating. But the other thing is, having a wide variety is also really, really difficult to do. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to be learned, and obviously I'll never learn it all, but I think also avoiding burnout is an important thing to do. At first, sometimes I have to work. I have to like wake up for work and go far early in the morning, and when I do that, I feel like I don't have all of the energy to spot my mistakes before I make them when I'm doing the videos. So I kind of have to like, I hate to say it, sometimes I will push myself and do one video, but like I realized I can only do that like as soon as my day job is over for the day. It's like I have to go right into that, because I realize that like once 8 o'clock hits, my mind just shuts down, and like I really can't make meaningful videos, which is incredibly frustrating. I don't really have time to do it in the morning either, because it's just I'm kind of just getting prepared for work, so it's kind of like that. But yeah, I think I learned a lot about myself, my efficient drawing time. Also getting sleep. Sometimes I don't get the best of sleep, and that kind of could affect the quality. But as long as I make videos kind of like before between the time of 5:30 or 6 and 8, I think that's like my prime time for making any videos at all. That's an important thing. The other thing is making sure I exercise. I realize that usually if I make a video before I exercise, by the time I'm done with it, I'm kind of a bit burned out. Not 100% burned out, but just a bit tired. And I've realized that more often than not, if I can do another video after I'm done exercising, like I'm able to kind of do that and fit it in. So it's kind of like the exercise aspect really causes my head to reset, which is something that I find incredibly important. The other thing is learning over extended periods of time. I realized the progress I'm making is always kind of weird, and it's always kind of hard to tell my drawing level expertise from my personal viewpoint, because I always felt like I had finer control over physical media, but I can't iterate as fast as using digital. Well, who knows, maybe I'll correct myself on that one. But like, digital, I'm still kind of learning digital. I've been doing it for almost 2 years now. No, probably a little over 2 years. And it's kind of a bit of a different monster to an extent. I mean, I like it, but like I always realize that I kind of lack a level of control, which I kind of find it funny. It's one of those things that just takes a really long time to do. The other thing is, I probably have said this multiple times, in which living in an area in which I almost always have power, but sometimes I may lose power, and it just like totally screws up my schedule. So I just draw physically, sometimes with a lantern, which I don't know. I kind of do like that sometimes. It is fun because I have like more often than not, I have like one of those book lights that kind of like it's like a gooseneck. It's like a gooseneck light that clips onto your keyboard or your masonite board. I didn't mean keyboard. But it clips onto your board and it kind of just hits off the paper, and you could draw with that. It's kind of like drawing in the dark. It depends if it's night or day, but I will do that sometimes if I can't use my digital. But yeah, it's always interesting to see how I go from one medium to another. Other than that, yeah, avoiding burnout is incredibly important. In general, I think they say most people shouldn't try to make a video every day, and I think I kind of set my ambitions for that to try to do that, and I've seen myself kind of fail at it. I've actually had to scrap a few videos because like I just wasn't able. I was just too tired in the time. It's like I woke up at like 4:35 and I tried making a video at like 8 p.m. the night of, and it was just like it wasn't going good, and I just like deleted the video out of frustration before I even uploaded it to YouTube. So not everything is going to turn out 100%, but I don't want to release something of like absolutely terrible quality. Like I know some of my videos, I'm always trying to get more experience and progress when I'm doing it. The other balancing act is trying to do well, as I'm always trying to do well in my videos while talking at the same time, and it's kind of another layer on top that I am trying to fight, so I kind of have to be a bit careful with myself regarding that, because I'm sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought. Okay, no, I was talking about making videos and talking at the same time. See, there I go and do it. So doing that, I am kind of fighting, and like I would never recommend doing that, because the level of multitasking, like I really can't count it as any experience time, because like I would never listen to music and be trying to improve at anything, because I think it's very distracting. I want to say the other day I was listening to the radio, and it was like they were talking about how if you live near a highway, those subtle noises from the highway, or if you live in any area that has traffic of any sort, it does affect you in a way that you may not even be aware. It's like probably a subconscious way, and causes a certain level of stress, and causes it could cause heart problems and other things in the future. So it's things like that it totally makes sense to me. You know, any little, you want to avoid like all distractions that you can, and it's just like so hard to do. But yeah, that's why when I make videos, I don't really count them personally as me trying to gain experience in any way. I mean, it's more like demonstrating my current experience with the extra uh, downside of trying to multitask while at the same time and explain my process. So I think even if I was a master at drawing or painting or whatever and trying to show an example, there would always be that factor of the thing that I'm trying to do is not going to be at my maximum potential, if that makes sense. So the other thing I realized is looking at something again and again, you may discover new things. I know I only made 24 videos on drawing insects so far, but I think it's incredibly important that I upload them. And originally I was thinking, hey, maybe I shouldn't upload them. And you know, well, the reason why I say that is because I kind of wanted to just have a way to provide a video for like every single day of the week constantly, so I could constantly be having videos out. But for the most part, I think, and I don't know this because I usually don't get too much feedback from you or just from anyone in the audience. I'm not sure if I don't know if I should call someone who's watching my video like a viewer audience, or something gimmicky like part of the infestation, which I think is a lot funnier. I'm always trying to fit in puns, which expect more as I learn more about the bug world. I do like that kind of humor. I do have to be careful about what I say with jokes. The only reason why I say that is because, well, not everyone may, I don't know about that. I just have to, like, fit it in. My jokes may be, like, a bit archaic. Sometimes you may have to, like, Google what I'm talking about. Because, like, I have another video that I want to make, called, I'm going to be working on my YouTube banner. It's going to be I'm calling it, like, Brood Mood. And, like, the joke in that is I'm drawing a cicada. And, I think what they call like a bunch of cicadas is a brood, so I thought it would be funny to call it Brood Mood, and probably like a lot of people are gonna, I don't know, maybe everyone will get it, maybe it's obvious, I don't know, but yeah. What else? Okay, so I would say the other thing is like making time dedicated for a day to upload your YouTube videos when you're making so many of them. I try to actually do the uploading at my peak tired hours. So I try to take advantage of all the drawing time that I can to fit into a day. And I know that if I'm tired, well, this is a great time for me to, like, I don't know, maybe listen to a podcast or some YouTube video while uploading my videos and typing all of the citations, credits, information, filling out all of that YouTube stuff, adding it to the correct playlist. It's a lot. The other thing I'm a bit concerned about is apparently I was talking to a relative of mine who, I don't know why they subscribe to my channel, but they do. And they were telling me that they can't see all of my videos even when they're on my channel. And I'm like, well, why is that happening? And I don't know why. It appears that sometimes when people go to my videos, it's trying to lead people away. I don't know why that's the case, but that's what he told me, and it is like a bit concerning, which if someone wants to go to my channel, YouTube's trying to recommend someone else's channel to my channel. I mean, I don't have a way to view that on my end, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know if maybe they're viewing it wrong. Maybe it's just a way. Maybe they're not looking at it. I'll have to like look into it. Because like I keep talking about it, but like I have to like see their device in person to kind of get the full picture. I could be wrong on that. I don't know 100% if that is factual, but it would be a bit disappointing because like it would make sense one thing if it was like if if it's just appearing in someone's feed, like that makes total sense. That's just a way like most people get served content, which I completely understand. But like if people are going on my channel and it's recommending other people's content, that is a bit discouraging. But I guess I don't really have any other choice. I want to say I think they did recommend me to, like, I don't know, put all of my videos on my website, and like I've thought of that, like maybe somehow linking to the main playlists of stuff that I do, and the main playlists this kind of fits into the videos in which I'm trying to find a healthy balance between drawing insects and arachnids, because I think they do have varying degrees of complexity, although I can say I feel like I have run into insects that had more complexity than spiders, but I guess it's all subjective at the end of the day. The other thing is making a video every day. Excuse me, sorry. Making a video every day, I feel like if I was not drawing, it would be a lot more cause of burnout. The other thing is, I really didn't start to make YouTube videos until I had about... I didn't start until I had 2 years of experience, but really I didn't start until I had 3 years of like solid drawing experience. I also I draw every single day. And that may not be possible for everyone. Everyone has a different life situation. So, the other thing is I always fit it in, whether I have to do it in the early morning or the late night. I feel like if I do it in the early morning, I still do have a better benefit to it. Like, it's not always, it sometimes is possible. It really depends. Like, I usually need like a solid hour to prepare for work, so if I wake up like 2 hours earlier, I may be able to fit it in beforehand. But like late night, I really can't do anything after 9 p.m. After 9 p.m. is just too much. The other thing is getting feedback on the videos. Like I want to do a wide array of things, teaching, besides the insect and arachnids videos, I make other videos of things I learned, also talking about, stuff like this. And I thought people would find it interesting to kind of like know about the journey. So it's, always trying to be aware of that, and myself, exercising every day, trying to eat healthy, also moving a lot. So it's incredibly important to get up and stretch when you need to, because we're not really made to be sitting all the time. So you do not want to hurt yourself by sitting all the time, because I want to say when I learned, a big issue was being able to keep my attention at drawing anything for longer than 25 minutes. That was just because I was starting out, but now that I can, I realize that there are times when I could just sit at a computer for hours on end, and I do have to be careful with that, because I feel like eventually, like, you get up and then you feel all the pain at once, which is kind of funny. And like, I'm always trying to, I have a good posture. That is another thing to do. When I do make the videos, I'm always sitting down. I could stand up for them, but in this case, I do just sit down at my computer or the drawing tablet in that manner. But yeah, expect more videos. I will probably let's see, I have 24 videos. I wish I had 25. Maybe I'll fit this video into that end. This will be like the video at the end of the 24. So I have a video for every day of the week. But then I just do wonder if people are going to be expecting videos for every other day of the week, which may not really be too possible. I may be looking for feedback. I may be I don't want that to, well, I guess that can drive me to a certain extent, but I need time to find more bugs. I need time to get feedback. I need time to improve on my own, because I try to do certain drawing sessions to improve myself and to improve my skill. And I think like, obviously you will probably never be happy with your skill 100%, but I think that I need a couple more years, probably a lot longer than that, to really gain the amount of confidence that I want to. Also, a lot of the bug videos that I make have been just focusing on the construction. The detail is a bit too complicated because you need like a really magnified view of insects to do that. And more often than not, the images that I've looked for, or even taking photos with my own camera, kind of make it like it's incredibly difficult to get a bunch of angles and to understand the texture with that. I think you truly do need like either a special lens or a magnifying glass. I may do something like that, but it's hard to say. I usually avoid hair. There are a lot of insects that have hair on their body, which I kind of think of that in terms of detail, so I tend to avoid them, but maybe I will spend more time doing that. And maybe like but it probably would make a video that would be 20 minutes to a half hour. It would turn it into probably an hour and 20-minute video. But it all depends. You have to like be very careful of every subtle nuance, the positions of the hair. Yeah, there's a lot to do, but I'll probably have to wait for feedback from the audience, or I'll just have to go on my own whim to do that. The other thing is, I'm not expecting everyone to leave comments if they want to. I think for the most part, people only leave comments if they have a truly, they have a question of some sort, which I have run into a few times, and I do try to answer it to the best of my ability. But probably most people are like either looking for the information, or they're finding it, or they're not finding it. But yeah, it's always hard to tell. But, so that's what I learned from making YouTube videos pretty much every day for 2 months. So yeah, I probably averaged, well, it was like a little less than 2 months. It was probably like a month and a half that it took me to make the videos. There are some days when I just don't have the opportunity to draw because of life. Sometimes the weekends, sometimes I don't have an opportunity on Friday. I also had those occasional days when I had to wake up incredibly early. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing because I guess I set unrealistic expectations for myself that I thought I can make, but it turns out that I was not able to do that. I guess it's kind of like a mind over matter thing. And I think it's always important to have the mindset that you can improve. Like, I could draw every day, but making a video, I guess I just have to admit that that's too difficult to do every day. So, I'm satisfied that I can draw every day, which I think is the truly important thing. But let it serve as like a guide for yourself that sometimes you may set unrealistic expectations. I would say perhaps the reason why I set unrealistic expectations for myself is kind of because of the work environment that I will work in. And sometimes, traditionally, a lot of the work environments want you to set expectations, which I think is a great thing to do, incredibly important. But sometimes the deadlines are so incredibly short that you just, you do anything to reach them, and it's like, at what point, like, how do you balance that with burnout? How do you deal with it when it's a never-ending stream of stuff to do? Much like I could always make another video on an insect or bug, but at the same time I have to be cautious of all of the other stuff that I need to practice and draw. So it's kind of like a balancing game, and it could be a bit disappointing when you can't reach a deadline. I mean, incredibly disappointing. So I guess you can't always let that get you down, and you need to accept the fact that you were able to do what you did and that you got a lot done. So if you have a question, please ask in the comments, or if you have a recommendation or something like that, I will take that into consideration. Although I'm not sure, sometimes I do have to hunt around to get certain photos of certain things. I can't always get the thing I need. The other thing, it could be hard to do that. I always try to be incredibly careful of any copyright stuff, giving credit where credit is due in the video and also in the description. I'm always fearful of like missing out a citation or credit in the description. I mean, I always make sure to get in the video, but I want to say I've actually had nightmares of of somehow missing it out. And I want to say one time I did have one nightmare, and then I realized, like, I looked on the video, but luckily it's not releasing for a while. But the good news was that I totally forgot all of the description, so I didn't put anything in the description, so I was able to put it all in there. And yeah, organizing yourself is an important skill set. Make it as easy as possible for yourself to reference your own material. It's kind of like an extra thing that people don't usually think about. I try to have a document that I could refer to help me kind of set guidelines for myself for all the credit lines and whatnot, and descriptions. So it is incredibly important to do that. It's like one of those things that kind of like adds time onto what you do. So there's like a lot of stuff that when you make a video, it isn't really known to everyone else because there's just so many aspects to it that probably most people will just think that I'm uploading a video. Like, they're not seeing that sometimes, like, okay, for example, like, I made an application called Thumbtastic, and I didn't want that to happen. Sometimes there are bugs that I could fix with it, but other times there are certain bugs that are kind of just... They would call them no fixes because other people have run into them before, but they just don't have a solution because, like, the way operating systems work, it like like you saw my canvas closed for a second, but this stayed open. Sometimes there's fighting of control for the window, and it's like, you know, look, I have focus with it now, and okay, it did it again. Yeah, certain things just don't have a solution, which is sadly a bit disappointing. But you know, the fact is that I always try to I eat what I serve, and when I say that, everything I make, I use it because I think about if someone else is going to run into this issue, they probably will at some point, and it will cause them a severe amount of pain. So, you know, things like that. Since I use my applications in my videos, I do try to mention it in the event anyone wants to do something similar to how I did it, or they just want the information. It's not always just like a shameless self-promotion, but perhaps it is. But yeah, those are the main points that I wanted to talk about, and I think there's a lot more for me to learn. You know, I've only made about 24 videos on drawing bugs. I may have more, actually, that I've released. But the other thing is I've made a lot of other content focusing on simpler things like shapes or concept, and all of that is important because all of that relates to my overall skill. So it's something to really keep in mind when you're drawing, in which, like, to improve, there's just like an endless amount and a large amount of stuff you need to practice and be confident with before you can get to the point of drawing more complex things. You know, I want to say, I wish I could remember what book. I think it was a book by... I can't remember if it was Don Norman. I think it was Don Norman. And the quote went that it wasn't that complexity was the issue, but it was that complication is the issue. Because complexity is basically building a bunch of like atoms of simple stuff to make something more complex. But complication is bad because complication makes it so that, like, it's a lack of understanding. So if you have a lack of understanding, I mean, that's a problem because it can be solved, but, you know, to be in the state in which you could solve it, that's where you want to be. Because, like, I can't apply the same tool set for drawing bugs every single time. Like, there's no recipe. It's kind of like tackling something new as you go into it. More often than not, you may not even realize that thing until you are way into it and you have to kind of maneuver around with it. So yeah, those are the main points. I probably babbled on a lot longer than I should have, but I find it important for me to document myself and everything I do. So yeah, if you like my video, please like it. If you have a question, please put in the comments. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Expect more bug videos soon. I will always have a video released on Sunday that will explain some concept. Sometimes it may involve insects and arachnids. Sometimes it may just talk about another subject. Sometimes I might also delve into the physical world of drawing and things that I learned and tips that I can share. But yeah, there's always something new that I can share, and I'm really happy to share it now because I am trying to fill in the gaps of anything I may not have been able to explain during the first 2-3 years when I started drawing, because I am trying to give those gaps, because trying to eliminate any bias I have. I mean, I know that is like a nonsensical thing. Like, there will always be some level of bias when it comes to drawing that like you can't explain, but do know that like the more you draw, the more you'll have an understanding. I hate to say it, but to a certain extent there's a lot of things you just won't understand until you experience it, and that's really frustrating, but it's just something you kind of have to accept. And it's like, I hope I don't seem like I'm arrogant when I say that, because I'm pretty much saying that there's stuff that even I don't know that I have to learn, and I probably have to make a bunch of mistakes until I can even see that mistake. And just seeing it doesn't mean I'm able to fix it myself, because I probably need a bunch more experience to even get to that point. Okay, so that's all. Thanks for sticking around and listening. Bye.